Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. You already know who it is and who it's not. The blackest hearted, blackest minded, blackest man on social media, signing black in and shining again, asking you to hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. So here goes. There is a congruence, you could say, in between Islam and the red pill awareness. And I use the term red pill awareness because I realize that some people can mistake it for religion. I'm going to first say that it's not a religion. It is an awareness. So some could say that it's an ideology because when you are aware of certain things that are right there in front of you, you will naturally draw conclusions based on that, or you will not draw conclusions at all. You will not draw conclusions based on the opposite of what you can see and observe. Unless what you saw and observed is what you know to be a deception from someone else, i.e. you know this person is a liar, so you draw conclusions based on the opposite of what she or he said. Outside of that, you do not draw conclusions based on the opposite of your observations. Therefore, I come to you when I tell you that this is not a religion, but there is a congruence in between Islam and the red pill because many Muslim men can see exactly what it is that non-Muslim men can see. But before we go too far, I'm going to go straight and explain something else too. There is a reason that there are men called black pill, and there is a reason that these men will, to a certain extent, tell you and preach certain things about what they witness and what they can observe. There is a reason that some of them will say that the game is over before it gets started for some guys. I had to tell my father at one point, Dad, I understand that you wanted me to just have a healthy knowledge of women and relationship with women when I was younger. I realized that's what you were looking for. But the thing was that you didn't know how to explain it because, see, for you, the reality was different. Women were a different species to you than they were to me. And it makes sense. You are somewhere between 6'1" and 6'2". You are easier to look at than I am. They were going to treat you differently, Dad, from a young age. And he said, well, son, they didn't always like me. And I said, yeah, I know they didn't always like you. But when they did, they could at least admit it. That was the difference. When I was a small child, having the same phenotype as you was an unfair advantage, but I was a small kid. When I got to be a teen, that was the year that it changed. And then all of a sudden, that same phenotype is an unfair disadvantage. I didn't say that no women like it, but factor this in. Here I was, the exact year that this had changed. The stereotypes about light-skinned guys are applying now. The negative stereotypes are coming up. And then I am not abnormally tall. I'm not abnormally muscled. And your money and mom's money was not my money, so I wasn't going to let the class thing be an issue anyway. In the end, it came down to these things. I was not going to have the same experience you were going to have. End of story. And there was not anything I could have done about that. I could have approached some things differently, but it would not have made a different outcome. Some things were over before they got started, some things were not. But I was certainly going to face more confusion than you were going to face. Absolutely, I was going to. A woman couldn't be cute to be interested in me. Unless, of course, there was something else that was not so cute she was bringing to the table, and you saw this coming up. And it is the same thing that's going on now. So what I'm going to say to you is, if you see even a Muslim tell you that you should not even admit that you have it harder than other men, and then he turns around and says that, yes, some men are going to have it harder than others, you're just going to have to stop listening. Even if that person means well. I subscribed to a Muslim in the UK who seemed to have an understanding as to the way that women were going to act. It was a breath of fresh air. He's going to introduce a lot of young Muslim men to the red pill so that they'll know how to handle what the hell they're dealing with. But this man got married at 16. His mother gave up her bedroom so that he and his new wife could stay there. He's been married since 16. He's in his 30s now. He's 6'3". He's not going to face what other Muslim men are going to face. If you are 5'9", let's just say you 5'9", and then you Muslim in today's United Kingdom, the way that these young Muslim women are acting, you can be 29 and not be married. And completely sexually inexperienced. I know 2 men like this from the UK, one from London, one from Manchester. And they make good money as teachers. But when they start talking to these women, not only do they talk to these men, and when I say talk to, I'm talking about with a view to marriage. When they talk to women with a view to marriage, these women have all manner of objections and conditions. Now these guys are 5'11", I think, and 5'9" or 5'8". In other words, they're very close to average height. And they make good money teaching English as a second language in the Gulf. These men don't have experience with women that are attractive, showing interest and respect in them. Showing interest. They don't have that. It's not their fault. There are things they don't know about women, but I'm not going to blame men for what they don't know about women, because as this man from the UK that I'm, the one man who's 6'3" that's had it a certain way with women from the UK has observed, as he has observed, women ain't going to tell you what they want. That right there excuses every man that doesn't know what women want. That right there. He told you that three reasons they ain't going to tell you what they want. One of them is that they don't know. I forgot the second. And he said the third is it gives them power over you. And even though that dries their vagina up to have power over a man, they're still going to always try to have power over a man. So they themselves are trying to get themselves to not like you when they like you. Or if they're on the fence about you. They'll look for reasons. So when you are a normal, run-of-the-mill man, then right off the bat, as a normal run-of-the-mill man, sorry, I had to shut my mouth for a second because these dogs are running smooth across the road like I'm not driving up. I didn't feel like killing any of them, but I probably should have. So if you are a run-of-the-mill man, a normal man, there ain't nothing really bad about you. You ain't busted looking. You don't have any bad hygiene. You don't have awkward social skills, at least no more awkward than anyone else does, because everyone's awkward about something. You are a normal run-of-the-mill man. These ladies, you understand, they are looking for reasons to disqualify you if they do like you. Let alone if they're on the fence. They're trying to find a way to have power over you. That's why when you show up what you know about them, they start saying, well, you insecure. Who hurt you? I'm just telling you what I know. I just observed it with my own 2 eyes and my own 2 ears. I can tell strictly based on what does happen and what doesn't happen. And what happens in different situations. I can sit up and tell you certain things. And they come with, you're insecure. Who hurt you? Boy, bye. So if you come across a Muslim, I'm telling you this as a Muslim, if you come across a Muslim who does not have any sort of sympathy for what normal men go through, don't listen to him. And for the record, I am not talking about Abu American. I've not heard him say anything that's dismissive of what normal men go through with women. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I just never heard it. But I bet you he'll know who. And I'm not saying this with any hatred for the man to whom I'm telling you to not listen anymore. But I'm going to say this. If you're a Muslim or non-Muslim, if you are a male and you tell men to simply acquire the things that women want as best they can, you're not wrong for saying that that's what you'll have to do in order to find somebody in a particular environment. You're saying that that's what the women have said. They say you must acquire this or stay by yourself. Okay, you're not wrong because you pointed that out. But if you say to them, stop whining, stop complaining, and especially if you're saying this in response to a written message because you don't know their tone of voice, then you're part of the problem. Just be more alpha, bro. Take charge. Now, how about you fuck the shuck up? How about you go sit your butt down somewhere? You the one that women need to be saying boy bye to. Because what you don't understand is that when you tell men to get rid of the things that hinder them, you still have to tell them, and by the way, leave the West. Why? Because while you may have things you need to work on because you're human, not because you're a guy, the women also have things they need to work on, but who the hell is telling them this? So when you work on things and you remove certain things and you are a self-improved package, now you're too good for any of them. The same ones that are demanding this are not good enough for it. Do it for your benefit and then leave them for more traditional environments with more traditional women that are more appreciative of what the hell you do for them. He didn't say that. He didn't even understand if you're in the West and all of you go to the gym and all of you start a business, well, for one, most of your businesses will flop because most businesses will flop, period. That ain't your fault. Those are statistics. But if all of you go to the gym and all of you get your money up, well, all of a sudden, the amount of stuff that your money will buy is going to go down. That's called inflation. Secondly, the women are just going to start demanding more muscles. That's another type of inflation, but it's not financial or economic. Maybe we could call that mating market value inflation. If more men get out there and just become what women want, especially Western women, the Western women are just going to demand more. That's why you must leave if you want to start a family. Hell, if you don't even want to start a family, you just want to be half a couple, just you and her, and you ain't trying to have no kids. Whatever the case is, if you won't be with someone, you need to leave. These dowries that they're asking for, you do exactly what they did in the Gulf. You go to countries where the dowries aren't that much and you marry those ladies. And when they start raising their dowries, you drop them and you go somewhere else. Until the women get the point. Ask for too much, you're going to be by yourself for too long. Then you're going to have to go down on your dowry anyway, dummy. That's what has to happen. It's like that. It's that bad. They are not going to ever shape the ukfup in the West. Nothing, we already have seen it. I said this on my last recording. They have a tendency to wise the ukfup when they've hit the wall or when they done had somebody else's babies and now they're a single mom. That's when they wise up. Before that, it's feminism. It's all about what I want and what I need. I'm strong and independent with my alimony payments. Some of them don't even learn then. I'm strong and independent with my child support payments or my Section 8. I'm a strong and independent woman, don't need no man. That takes away from the women that actually are strong and independent. That ain't fair to them. They're never going to learn when they're young and they're tight and they got options. That's not going to teach them nothing. Nothing but the loss of options has ever taught, hell, now I wouldn't even say Western women. Nothing but the loss of options has ever taught Any women, period. Middle Eastern, Western, Southern, or Northern. If they came from the center of the earth, under the surface, like in that Kong movie, it would be the same thing. Whatever they're on, they're gonna stay on it. Especially if it's bad for you. Because understand, everything that these ladies have been on has not been because it's good for them. Sometimes some of the things they're on are only because it's not good for you. When they're young, they may not realize that. When they get older and they realize that a lot of them, now that they're conscious of it, still don't want to get rid of it. They just double down on it more. Oh, okay. So wait a minute. So this ain't benefiting me, but it still is hard for him, or it ain't easy, it ain't convenient for him. I'm going to stay on it then. Because these men can't have it too easy. You want to know what a woman will make a sacrifice for? For you to not have it too easy. And so until you realize this, even if you Muslim, until you realize this, fuck the shuck up telling men anything about any changes to make, until you say to them, when you make those changes, you fit the guck up out the West. Or you stay by yourself. Because if you tell men to improve themselves for women, and you don't address the fact that the women don't qualify for this, you're going to be part of the problem. So if you Muslim and you want to tackle red pill stuff, you better understand that they are at war with us. Some of them are at war with us and they may not mean to be. They're still at war with you. That's why they talk about their rights. One of them that doesn't even mean a whole lot of hostility. She's more pro-woman than she is anti-man. She left a comment telling me, well, actually, Islamically, it is a woman's right. Yeah, I know that. But see, even still, what you're saying, sis, is, here are my rights. Yeah, but you still ain't mentioned men's rights. And you're one that's willing to give the man his rights when you actually find a husband. At least you seem to be right now. But even you missed, without you trying to be at war with men, even you missed half the boat. What I was telling men to do in my last upload is, when a woman is looking for someone, and she's off that feminism, but she didn't get off the feminism while she was young and childless, then you do not give her those rights. I didn't say lie to and deceive her. I simply said you only marry somebody like that when she signs away those rights. Because that's how bad it is to be on this feminism and this misandry, or even on this my right stuff, without being on the men's rights. When you young and childless, and then all of a sudden you sympathetic to what men are going through when you older and a single mom. Even that says something. Why not when you young and childless, which is what most men want? Now for me, my age and childless is the optimal. But that makes me very rare. And I know it's a war, because even when I say this to women, the women that are my age and childless start to get difficult. Despite the fact they can't find nobody, despite the fact that I actually have a place for them, they start getting difficult with me just cause. I'm not saying this to whine and complain. I'm saying this to tell you that I know what the hell I'm talking about when I say it's a war. And so to the Muslim brother, 6'3", been married from a young age, I'm glad you have been. I don't hate you, man. But you overlooked something so important because you were mad at a black pill man for complaining. No, bro, he had a right to complain. This stuff is not equal. You admitted it's not equal. The solution to it not being equal is that we men, stop treating these ladies like they're equal. They're not. And when they're not equal, it's because of choices they made. Not because of height that they don't control. Not even because of ethnicities or skin tones they don't control, contrary to what a lot of people say. But because of what they do control. They don't control their height. They control their weight. They don't control their ethnicity. They control their hygiene and their grooming. That's what happens. You got men that don't want nothing to do with Asian women. You got men that do. You got men that prefer Latin American women. You got men that don't want nothing to do with them either. You got men that like white women. Most of us don't want nothing to do with them. Most brothers ain't into white women. It's just that when a brother is, the rest of us don't get on this case about it. And that's why it seems like you got all these brothers out here with these white women. No, you got brothers out in public with white women because they don't mind being seen out in public with white women because we really ain't tripping like that. That's really what it is. Got more brothers out there with Latin American and Asian women. And I say hats off to you, blood. You got brothers out there with women from back home, from the continent. Hats off to you, man. That's what you got. So I'm going to say it again to that Muslim brother in the UK. You're going to have to tell these men that when they do make whatever improvements, they still need to leave the West. The Western woman is a problem. And you're going to come along before you say to me, look, black mind, you're black nationalist, you're probably a racist. I'm married to 2 or 3 women here in the UK. They're Western, born and raised, and they don't treat me like this. Yeah, okay. Don't use a one-off anecdote. Bruh, the overwhelming observations of men, Muslim too, have been that they get treated like crap. Most Muslim women in the UK are fornicating with non-Muslim men or nominal Muslims that are out there on the road, you know, bad man and rude boy, fornicating with them, and they ain't virgins. And then when they do decide that they want to get married, it's later in life, and they go to innocent Muslim guys who are practicing and ain't been on the road acting like gangsters, been Muslim their whole lives, start batting their eyes. I just want to get to paradise. You got an imam in Manchester, married to a lady, and she been with 5 dudes before. This imam does not know. I don't know the imam's name, but I know the story. That's how bad it is there. You 6'3". I'm glad that you are. I'm glad you had the experience, but you still ain't learned to sympathize with what other men are going through. Yes, the game could be over before it gets started. The solution is to leave, and you forgot that part. You still inadvertently cater to the wicked witches of the West. The ones to whom you don't cater intentionally, you still cater to them. You got to understand that almost nothing they prefer is even legitimate. Even their materialism is not as legitimate as the male libido or the female libido. Allah didn't make these material things after which women lust to be abundant. He made them rare. And if they became abundant, the women wouldn't want them no more. Boy, if the secret got out about diamonds, they would lose their value. And if women knew about diamonds, they wouldn't ask for them. They wouldn't do it. And you wound up catering to them because you still haven't understood they're at war with us and that what they want from us is wrong. That's their struggle. And they failed. I'm not even saying this out of hatred for women. I'm just saying this because of what it is that today's woman is insisting upon. Now, one last thing I'm going to say to this, Rami, I forgot what your name is, but you've been telling me lately the manosphere doesn't even want solutions, present solutions. Yeah, bruh, the manosphere is split between those who do and those who don't. Most new guys ain't really worried about solutions per se, or rather they are. Most manosphere men do want solutions, but they still are going to vent about the issue. And oftentimes they're not even venting. We're trying to communicate to explain to each other the depths of evil we've come to understand in the wicked witch of the West. But the solution? Don't tell me I'm not presenting one. I done already said Islam is the solution. I said that a while back. It is the solution for black folks, men and women. It's the solution for other people. It has the framework for how the genders are supposed to get along. I already said this multiple times. I didn't beat my audience over the head with it, but I done said it. You late. Now, if you didn't know I said it before, I'll let you off the hook. But in order to say that I've not said something, you got to listen to everything I have said. I don't know how many videos I've got uploaded now. If you're going to say, well, Black Mind, you never said X, Y, and Z, go back and listen to all that I have said. Or, better yet, save yourself some time. Ask me if I ever said such and such. And I'll tell you the best I can remember. That's all. But save yourself the embarrassment. If you start talking about solutions, we're talking about one. The other solution, well, this is also a part of Islam. You leave the West. It's called Hijra. You migrate to where you can practice your religion even better. And in this case, when it comes to marriage, you can't marry in the West and have life go for you very well. You can't have a smooth life and a simple life and be married in the West. It's not possible. It's like hitting the lottery, and most of us ain't gonna never hit that lottery. So what do? You migrate to where you can. Right now, that ain't the West. They got men, white and black alike, that are living in the Philippines with their wives. And you got a Filipino woman telling Western men, don't bring your Filipino wives to the West with you. That's what you got. That is a solution. We are talking about that. Bouts on is broad. The only thing is, everybody can't do it at one time, and we certainly can't all go to the same place. So there will be a long meantime in which many of us are still in the West. And what I say to you all are solutions in that time. Send certain messages, not because you're going to change the adult women, but so that you can at least show the young girls, you can train the young boys what to do, what not to do, and they can in turn show the young girls what the hell ain't gonna work. So that at least the girls that are little girls right now won't grow up to be doomed to make the same mistakes as their moms and aunts and older cousins and sisters, and the young boys can sidestep the BS and the snares and the traps we weren't allowed to. I've been talking about those solutions. What the fuck are you talking about? We never discuss solutions. Yeah, the hell we do. We have to. Ninja. Half the time, people just don't want to understand what it is I'm actually getting at. Most of the time, people just don't want to understand whatever it is that their opposition is getting at. Because it's an opposition. But I'm saying to you, no. I'm not telling Muslim men to cheat women out their rights. What I'm saying is don't get into an arrangement in which you give them all their rights when they ain't going to give you none of yours. And that's why I said what I said, Bets. If you're going to take on these ladies that hit the wall or got some other men's kids, only do so when they sign away certain rights. End of story. Because, see, there's a Fresh and Fit podcast upload entitled Women Don't Really Know What Western Men Want. Or modern women don't know what men want. I'm telling you something different. What I'm saying to all of you is that they know what the F men want. They know and just don't. They just want to deny it. That's what I've been saying to y'all. Been telling y'all this for a while. Oh no. No, modern day women know what men want. They know and they actually care. They care that they deny it. They want you at a particular age and size with a certain attitude. And what they say is, well, when we are this age and at this size, we're not going to bring the attitude you want. Those ain't going to come together. They know this. They know how you want them to look. They know how you want them to act. And they know at what ages you prefer them. And what they're saying is, nigga, you ain't never going to get all of this in one. Even though we can bring you all this in one, we just not going to. Absolutely not. We're going to make you suffer. End of story. And if you seem to be too comfortable being by yourself, then we're going to try to flash a little cleavage or something, or wiggle a little something in front of you just to agitate you because we can't stand to see you happy. I kid you not. This is what goes through their minds. So Bets, because this is what the Western women have decided, Muslim and non-Muslim alike, I'm telling men, do not, under any circumstances, go into an agreement in which you're going to give such women all of their rights. she signs them away and lets you off the hook for them, bringing it back down to free booty or stress-free booty, or you leave her and she stays by herself. And we need to be on code about this, Bets. And you can understand why that is. Thank you all for listening. Black Heart, Black Mind, Blackout, Assalamu Alaikum, and Black Heterosexual Non-Select Male Power, just because you don't like it, and Black Patriarchy until extinction or Judgment Day.